Hi, everybody, and welcome to TWF Explosion. Whoa. And today on Explosion, we have Gabrielle, the executive administrator, and Zena, the general manager. Well, Zena said today happens to be a really good day, because here at this time I would like to bring out and congratulate the new TWF World Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Bryan, and who happens to already be here. Oh, God. First off, I just want to say, Daniel, congratulations on winning the TWF World Heavyweight Championship once again from Aries. And I want to say how sorry I am for doing what I did to you. You have to understand, Daniel, that I was brainwashed by Aries, and so was Gabrielle. You see, Aries could never ever get me to be evil again. No matter how hard he tried, he would never ever be able to get me to become the destroyer of nations again, in any multiple incarnation. So I just want to say, I'm sorry. Well, first off, Zena, now it all makes sense to me now, Daniel Bryan says. It starts to make a lot of sense to me once you stop to think of it. Whoa! I mean, seriously, who would gain from you turning heel? Well, I thought about it, and it was Aries. He's the one who would gain anything if you turned heel. And I just want to say that I accept your apology for what happened, Zena. Daniel, since you are once again the TWF World Heavyweight Champion, and since Aries did technically win the belt, and since you did technically defeat him, and the championship committee has already ruled, and since Commissioner Godzilla and Director of Operations Shrek is already chairman, have already told me before we went on that the championship committee is ordering you, that Aries is your #1 contender. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh geez, Zena, why give that jerk a return match for the TWF World Heavyweight Championship, even if he doesn't deserve it? Gabrielle said, but this time it's going to be a twist, because it's going to be fair. You see, Daniel Bryan, we're putting together a group, but it's not what you think it is. You see, Daniel Bryan, to make sure that nothing goes wrong in your match between Aries, it will be a lumberjack match. Now, you're thinking to yourself, how is this lumberjack match going to work? Well, you see, Zena said, there's going to be people, Zena says, around here to make sure that Aries don't get away. And if Aries does try to run out, they'll throw him back in. And Gabrielle says, this will make sure that there is no interference by either Gil Kim, The Shield, or anybody else who may have issues with you being a TWF World Heavyweight Champion. For this group that you said you're putting together, Daniel Bryan said, would it by chance happen to have, I don't know, The Undertaker, Paul Bear, Mideon, Viscera, Big Show, Tang? It wouldn't happen to also include yourself, Zena, and Gabrielle, Ernest P. Warren, Autolycus, and Hercules by any chance? Well, how did you know that we were putting that group together? How did you even come to assume putting that group together? But anyway, Zena says, we're going to have to come up with we're going to have to think of the lumberjack. But don't worry, you ain't going to face Aries today. You see, Aries already ran a file of one of the new owners of the Toy Wrestling Federation on Impact Wrestling, Donald Trump. See, the Trump organization bought 50% of ownership of the Toy Wrestling Federation. And technically Corona and Ecliptor are still 50% principal owners, and Donald Trump is also a 50% principal owner too. And yes, Aladdin and Princess Jasmine are still the Chief Executive Officer and Chief Operating Officer, and Steve Austin is still the Chief Brand Officer. And yes, Theodore Long is still the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, and Eric Bischoff is still the Executive Vice President of Television Productions, and Hulk Hogan is still the Executive Vice President of, creative. That is true. Now, some of you people might ask yourself a big question. And yes, Godzilla is still the commissioner, and Shrek is still the director of operations at the moment. I'm still the general manager, and Gabrielle is still the executive administrator, so there isn't really too much of a management change. But the new rule is that heels can't cheat to win their matches. And if the heel cheats, Xena says, then the referee's discretion is to give the face another chance to win the match. Well, that's a lot, Daniel Bryan says. That's a lot. Well, by the way, Xena, I forgive you for what you did. I forgive you too, Gabrielle, for what you did. And thank you for letting me win back the TWF World Heavyweight Championship from Ares, the European Greek god of war. But don't worry, Xena says, Daniel Bryan. I'm sure that you're going to do one hell of a job as TWF World Heavyweight Champion. Now, also, okay, Xena says, now, I have looked very forward for a pretty long time of introducing this new person. Now, this new person who we have heard a lot about, and a lot of people have actually asked me if me and this person will ever fight. Now, Xena says, at this time, I would like to introduce to you somebody who we have tried to get for years and have not been able to get. Gabrielle says, you may recognize her. She is a very popular member of the United Alliance of Good, belongs to the Justice League of America branch of the United Alliance of Good, has had multiple comic books, multiple video games, multiple motion pictures, multiple television shows, multiple action figures made of her. And some people even argue that she's better than me. But that's stretching it a bit. Are you guessing who it is? Xena says. You guessing who it is? Wait a minute. That's Wonder Woman, a.k.a. Diana. Yeah, it's me. Xena, I'm surprised. I mean, after all these years, we have finally come face to face. You know, I hear you have a problem with the same asshole that I have a problem with, Ares, the European Greek god of war. So, let me just say the honor to finally meet you, Xena. Honor to meet you too. Gabrielle, good to meet you too. Fellow Amazon, as myself. Now, you said you got a problem with Ares. Hey, I've been having a problem with Ares around the same time you have. You've had much runs in as he has. Here's what I'm thinking. You know, here's my thing. Now, I'm thinking you gotta make my debut match has to be right. Okay? My debut match has to be very good. You know? I mean, you gotta think of it, Xena. You gotta think. Because apparently, my debut match has to be against Ares. It can't be against anybody else. I mean, now let me think about that one, Xena said. That's going to conflict because Ares already has a return match against Daniel Bryan for the TWF World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, yeah, Gabrielle said. See, there's the problem. It won't conflict because I'll kick Ares' ass so much, I'll beat him down so badly that it won't be much of a match for Daniel Bryan. You know? Now I know Daniel Bryan and Ares are going to fight, but there's nothing that says that I can't fight Ares before Daniel Bryan does. Wait a minute, Daniel Bryan's come back down. Oh my God! It's Wonder Woman, Daniel Bryan says. I can't believe it. You're finally here. Better late to never, but you're finally here. Now, I couldn't think of anybody else that was more honored to be in the ring with than you. And I would ever want to defend my TWF World Heavyweight Championship against you before I want to go against Ares. You don't like Ares, I don't like Ares. Ares actually brainwashed Xena into putting him in his title position. And we don't like him. Daniel, don't worry. I will save you a little bit of Ares, just enough for you to finish him off. Because I have to be a big fan of yours, by the way, Daniel Bryan. By the way, could I have your autograph? Oh, geez, Daniel Bryan said, I'd probably be asking you for the autograph. Here, what do I make it out to? Daniel Bryan, always, to your good friend, Wonder Woman, always keep saying yes, Daniel Bryan. That's cool. You could make one out to me. Here you go. Your friend, Wonder Woman, you are a great wrestler. Always keep the yes movement alive. Wow, Xena says, this gives me an idea. Wouldn't the TWF like to see Wonder Woman and Daniel Bryan? Because this will be a great match. Think of it. We could have a good opportunity coming down the road. But, you know, but Mom, Gabrielle says Daniel Bryan's already booked against Ares, so for us to even have a Wonder Woman match against Daniel Bryan, it'd be 2 matches in one day. And we normally only do 2. Well, why don't we just settle this right now, Xena said. I can go to legal. I can ask the Executive Vice President and Legal Counsel Clarence Mason to write up the paperwork. I can get it approved by the Executive Committee and the Championship Committee. I can have Commissioner Godzilla sign off on it if he wants to. But you two are going to wrestle. I don't care if Daniel Bryan, you have to have 2 matches in one day. But that's a good idea, Daniel Bryan said. Think about this one here, Wonder Woman says. I know I got great respect for you, Daniel Bryan, and everything, but I want Ares. I want to fight Ares first, and then I want to fight you. Well, okay, everybody. You're going to, this is a kind of a surprise here, but here we go. And hope you enjoyed this episode of TWF Xplosion. We will see you tomorrow for the aftermath and see what comes out of it. We'll see you tomorrow for Superstars.